Super Bowl, who you picking?
I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs, but I'm like barely on the side of Kansas City.
Okay, talk to me. Why?
Well, I think both offenses are explosive. I think both offenses are creative and get their weapons the ball and can move the ball and can run the ball. Both teams can do that. So it's a recipe for success. Obviously, that's why they're in the Super Bowl. But I think the defenses as well are good. But I think, Patrick Mahomes, I think, is a difference maker. I think those receivers for Kansas City are the difference maker. How the speed they have is incredible. We played against them this year, and just watching those guys from the sideline was it's pretty impressive. When guys stand out speed-wise in an NFL game, they're fast because everybody else is fast. So.
Fast, yeah.
Legion of Zoom.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and it'll be a fun game to watch.
So everyone's focusing on the Niners defense because of Mahomes. But the more I look at it, the more I think, it doesn't matter what you do with Mahomes. He's going to put up numbers. I'm looking at, can San Francisco stay with them? And Jimmy G, when he's called upon, has been able to do that, including against New Orleans in a very high-scoring game that got them home field in the regular season. And the more I look at it, the more I think this game might come down to the Kansas City defense having to make a stop. What do you think about what Kansas City has done defensively this year?
Yeah, I think that's why it was so difficult for me to make a decision on who's going to win, just because they're so even, they're so explosive. Like you said, what Jimmy G was able to do against the Saints in a game that was just scoring points and going crazy. We watched that game before we played the Saints, and just it was incredible, just back and forth, scoring. But yeah, I think the Chiefs, they can rush the passer. They have it at all levels. They have playmakers. They have guys that can really get after it. So I think that's what makes it tough, because both defenses are really good. They both can rush the passer, and both teams can run the ball, and that's important, especially in a Super Bowl.
Before I even ask you a football question, I just want to make a statement. I have such admiration for you and anybody on your team just for living in Minnesota. I was there a couple of years ago.
He's from Minnesota.
And I just don't understand how. I got
This guy's a meteorologist who has the thinnest skin
one of my
alive.
best friends, one of my best friends in the world, has got his children. He lives there for last 20 years. I look at him every day and I say, how could you do this to them? It's minus 30 degrees when I was there a couple of years ago.
I will say, come to Minnesota in the summer. And
I'm not coming back. I'll never come back to Minnesota.
It's only 20 below in the summer.
And football question now. I'm sorry.
No, I will say this one second.
Sure.
So my son, we just were in Mexico for 7 days, and my son said he missed home.
Oh, my Lord.
He missed the snow.
What is going on? What's going on?
I
What you going to tell me next? You want to live in the North Pole? I mean, what's going on? But let me ask you this question, because you talked about San Francisco, and you went against this team, obviously. When you talk about the speed on Kansas City, is that your way of saying that when you went against San Francisco and that defense, that they may not have the speed to match up with Kansas City?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. And in fact, I think the difficult part is going to be how are they going to get the ball to those speedy guys. They get after the passer so fast. I mean, they have 4 first-rounders on the defensive line, and those guys are serious.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you're halfway through your route, the quarterback's already getting moved in the pocket, things like that. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, Andy Reid, he knows how to get guys the ball, and he knows how to be creative and get the ball out quickly and avoid the rush. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see the game plan. I'm excited to see a good football game.
Do you trust, as a fan watching, and as an opponent watching, do you trust Jimmy G in high-pressure situations?
I do. I trust that offense. I trust the play calling, and I've seen him do it. And I think he said it after the game against the Packers, saying that if they got to run the ball 40 times or if they have to throw the ball 40 times, he doesn't care, and he's going to make it happen. And I do believe that. I think he's a guy that's a gamer. When the game's on the line, he's calm, he's cool, he's collected, and both those guys, though. I mean, that's the same way with Patrick Mahomes. There's nothing that scares him. He's out there having fun and playing ball just like he was back in the day in the backyard.
What can we expect from the Minnesota Vikings next year? You, Diggs, Kirk Cousins.
Dalvin Cook.
Well,
Damn, got enough weapons on offense.
Dalvin Cook. What can we expect from y'all this year?
Oh, I'm excited. Obviously, you say that every year after the season. You're just excited to get back out there and get back to work. But you said it. I mean, we have weapons. We have the guys to do it. Now we just have to go prove it. We have to go do it. And it's easier said than done. But I'm excited to get back out there, get to work, see what the coaching and the GM and the Minnesota Vikings organization, see what they're going to do in the draft and free agency, and it'll be exciting. But every year you want to get to the Super Bowl, and that's the goal, and hopefully we can make a run.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.